Hi all, myself Sudha Rani, working as assistant professor in Mlritm, Hyderabad. So last class, I was dealing with renewable resources, natural resources actually. So in that, I was talking about renewable and non-renewable resources. In that last class, my session was on water resources. Today, I'm going to deal with a topic called energy resources. So which are available in nature. So I'm going to deal with both renewable and non-renewable energy resources. But today, my session, I'm going to concentrate on renewable energy resources. So this is my first slide. Yes, all different forms of energy you can see on the slide here. Next, what are the types of energy resources? We have two types, and here you can see renewable energy, solar energy, wind energy, hydropower, and geothermal energy. And here, when we are talking about non-renewable energy, coal, crude oil, natural gas, and nuclear fuel. So these are the different types of energy resources. Some are renewable, some are non-renewable. So here, in my today's session, I'll be dealing with renewable energy resources, especially with the wind energy and the solar energy. So as the world is transitioning, it has been changing, okay, towards a low carbon economy. So here, renewable energy resources are becoming increasingly, they're becoming, very famous nowadays, increasingly important, especially in mitigating climate change. So why renewable resources? Because they're important in mitigating the climate change. So we have to study about this renewable energy resources. So today my session will be on solar energy and wind energy. Okay. Now, let me start with renewable resources. As I was telling you, a resource that can be used repeatedly and does not get run off because of its naturally, because it is replaced naturally, because it is replenished naturally. So, such sources we call them renewable sources. So, the resources that can be used repeatedly and does not run out because it has been replenished or replaced naturally, we call them renewable energy sources. So here you can see solar energy, wind energy, biomass and hydropower and geothermal energies. In my session today, I am going to deal with wind energy and the solar energy. So let us first start with wind energy. Now, wind energy, one of the important renewable energy resources. So yes, so wind energy is an important source of renewable energy, especially in India also. Many of the largest operational onshore wind farms are located in United States, China and India. So you can see the first, our largest you can say wind farm is in Tamil Nadu, Kanyakumari. It is known as Muppandal Wind Farm, generating about 1500 megawatts of energy. The second one is Jaisalmer. It is in Rajasthan, generating about 1064 megawatts of energy. Next, again, all rest of the three are in Maharashtra. These are the five largest wind farms in our country, especially the one in Tamil Nadu. You can see the difference here, 1500 megawatts, and the second place is only Jaisalmer with 1064 megawatts of energy. So this is one of the five important, I can say, wind farms in our country which are generating energy through the wind. Okay, next, five largest wind farms in the world. So the first one is China, generating about 7,965 megawatts of energy. The next one is USA, 1548. You can see the huge difference between these two. So the first place is being taken by China, second one is 1548. Then the third one is in our country, about 1500 megawatts of energy. Then the fourth one is the Jaisalmer. It is in Rajasthan, 1064 megawatts of energy is being generated from these farms. The last one again in United States of 912 megawatts of energy. So here we can see here China stands first in generating electricity from wind farms. So that is what is mentioned in this 5. Next, so beautiful pictures of the wind farms which are located or which are installed in between the fields. So these are the fields and you can see some wind farms here and there. The fans have been located to generate electricity from the wind. Okay. The next one is, so why it is an important resource? Why wind energy is an important resource? Because it is renewable and is used in variety of ways. Why it is making headlines? Because it is renewable. It can be replaced, it can be replenished over the years. So that is why we have huge concentration on wind energy. So when we are talking about wind energy, of course, electricity generation and wind power accounts for nearly 10% of India's total installed utility power generation capacity. Out of all the renewable energy resources, wind generation or wind power generation is occupying 10% of the India's total installed utility power generation capacity. Next, drought resilience. Wind power can be used to pump water to drought affected areas. So this power can be used in that way. Complementary to solar energy. Solar energy has been very, very effective or during the daytime, while the wind energy is productive at night time. So it is complementary to the solar power. So most of the solar power we generate in the daytime, while the wind power we are generating at the night time. And what are the other uses? So they are used to extract oil from seeds and milling grains and all. So these are the other uses. So it's a renewable form, of course, clean energy, green energy, and yes, drought resilience, complementary to solar power, because solar power generation mostly happens, or the productivity of solar power is in the morning, but the wind productivity is at night time. Okay, next one. Then what are its disadvantages? Why, only 10% still we are generating in our country, even though we know that it's a clean fuel, green fuel, and why we are only generating about 10%? And yes, these are the disadvantages. And you can see the first point is intermittency. Wind power is only available when the wind is blowing. So when it is not blowing, so we cannot generate any wind energy. So, energy generation slows or stops when the wind doesn't blow. When there is no blowing of the wind, it stops. So, this is called as intermittency. So, it is only available when the or only the power is available only when the wind is blowing. Next one, environmental impact. These wind turbines may harm wildlife, and production of materials for wind turbines can impact the environment. So most of the wildlife, because they are situated places where it is far away from the cities and definitely where the wind is more, so those places maybe there are chances of affecting wildlife. That is environmental impact. Noise is one of the disadvantage of wind energy, where you can see the noise which has been created by the blades, and the machinery. Lots of noise is being created, and this noise can affect wildlife, but it is usually a problem when we are very near to the windmill or the wind farm. Otherwise, we cannot hear lots of noises from them. So, when we are very close to the wind farms or the windmills, because of the movement of the blades of the windmill, we can hear the noise. So, that is one disadvantages of wind energy. Then visual impact, some people do not like the appearance, so of the windmills and all. Location. Location, these are only available in areas with strong and steady winds. When the winds are strong and steady, such as coastal areas, hills and open fields. So this cannot be set up everywhere and anywhere, only in the places where the winds are strong and they are steady, especially in the coastal areas, hills and the open fields. Okay, next one, transmission. So, because it is difficult to transmit wind energy from the rural areas to the cities. So, we are setting them far away in the coastal areas, hills, and open fields. So, transmitting the energy which has been generated in the rural places to into the cities, it's a difficult issue. So, that is one. Transmission is one of the disadvantage of wind energies. Then competition. Wind power must compete with other low cost energy resources. So wind power, they have a competition with other low energy resources, and here generation is only 10%. So that is why solar energy generation has gained much importance. Okay, then cost. Cost. Offshore wind farms can be expensive to build and maintain. So to build them or to maintain them, it can be expensive. So that is one of the disadvantage we find in setting up a wind farm or a windmill. Okay, next one, let us come to solar energy. The most important next renewable forms of energy is the solar energy. Definitely for promoting sustainable development or sustainable future, the world is moving more towards renewable energy resources. So first one I have shown about the wind energy, now it is solar energy. Then these are the latest information which I have gathered. So you can see here India's solar power installed capacity was 90.76 gigawatts as of 30th September 2024. It is the largest producer, I mean the third largest producer of solar power globally. On a global average, we are the third largest producer of solar power. And the International Solar Alliance, this is proposed by our country only, and it has been headquartered in India itself. So it has put forward the concept of one sun, one world, one grid. The concept is one sun, one world and one grid and World Solar Bank. So these are some of the concepts which have been put forward by our own country, which has been, I'm talking about ISA, International Solar Alliance, which has been headquartered in our country only. So we are talking about one sun, one world, one grid and World Solar Bank to harness abundant solar energy on the global scale. If the solar energy is abundant, then it is the World Solar Bank which comes to our rescue. So we can store here. So these are some of the points related to latest issues of solar energy where there is an International Solar Alliance. Okay, next. And the study says that about 300 days in a year out of 365 days, we have clear and sunny days. So out of 365 days, 300 days are very clear and they are sunny. And the calculated solar energy incident on India's land area is about 5,000 lakh crore kilowatts per hour per year. So this is the average, you can say, incidence of solar energy. So because we have out of 365 days, 300 days, we have complete clear skies and complete solar energy, we are in a position to generate or harness lots of solar power. Now, it is available, the solar energy available in a single year exceeds the possible energy output of all the fossil fuel energy reserves in India. So definitely the solar energy available in one particular year, it is exceeding whatever energy we are generating from fossil fuels. So that is what it means. So these are the advantages of solar energy. Now, so the daily average solar power plant generation capacity in India is 0.30 kilowatts hour per meter square of used land area. Okay, this is something which is available in our country. So we are more dependent on solar energy. So one of the most cleanest and we can say green energy, clean energy, renewable energy, which is helping us to lead sustainable life in future. Okay, next, what are the advantages? So why we have to go for solar energy? First one, renewable. Yes, it is renewable. It can be replenished. It can be replaced naturally by the environment. Next one, it is clean. Clean energy, green energy. So it is clean and we are saving on our cost. Okay, once it is been installed, yes, it works. So next, increased home value. Okay, now works in many climates. Most of the climates it works in our country. It can be used anywhere. It can be transferred to the electricity grid and safer than other sources, not dependent on other sources of energy. Solar renewable energy credits also we can gain. So it is renewable, clean, cost savings and increased home value. All these are the advantages we have. Okay, and transferred most importantly renewable. Okay, next, what are the disadvantages, or we'll talk about the disadvantages and see here why we have to go for solar energy, because it is abundant, sustainable, renewable, making it an ideal source of energy for India. It's abundant in our country, It's renewable, sustainable, of course. And the Indian government has made a concerted effort to promote the use of solar energy with the aim of reducing its dependence on traditional energy sources and mitigating the impact of climate change. So, when we are using more of non-renewable energy sources, definitely there is an impact on climate change. So, to mitigate the impacts of climate change, so we are reducing our dependence on traditional energy sources. So that is why we are moving on to solar energy sources or renewable energy resources. Okay. Now, in our country, Tata is the most trusted and largest solar manufacturer in India. Okay, for homes, residential, and industrial requirements, they are the most trusted and the largest. They play an important role in making India as a sustainable solar power producer country. So, their importance and their role is very important in making our country sustainable solar power producer country. Okay, they provide the best solar panels for home in India at a less price for not used roofs. So the best price they are providing at a cheaper, less price, and one of the most trusted in our country. So this is they are really helping us India to move on to more sustainable future. Okay. Now, then when there are so many advantages, why, what are the disadvantages? So now the cost, the initial cost is more because we are talking about the panels, the inverters, the batteries, wiring, installation, all this can be expensive. Then it is weather dependency. Nighttime it cannot produce any electricity or, no sunny days. So all this cloudy days, we cannot have more amount of solar energy. Then energy storage of energy in the battery, especially to use them at night time, can be more expensive. Now, and it requires lots of space. So because the panels have to be installed, its mechanism is different, the wiring, the batteries, it requires lots of space. And the next one is pollution not because of energy generation but because of installation of solar panels. They can produce some emissions and use hazardous materials. When their installation process is going on, it may be made up of some hazardous materials. So this is something which I'm talking about, the disadvantages. So why, after knowing so many advantages, why still the people are reluctant is because of the space. So if I have to set up a solar panel on my terrace, it completely occupies my terrace. So that is one disadvantage when it is coming here. And of course, all other energy storage and all, that is one. And the panel deterioration and the panel damage. So definitely because of the radiation, sun, temperatures or storms and all, hail, wind and all, the panel may be damaged. It requires maintenance every 1 to 2 years. Ensure optical performances, so maintenance is required. And it takes about 8 to 9 years to break even on the cost of installing solar panels. 8 to 9 years time it takes for getting our money back, whatever we have spent on the installation it takes. In between, if we are moving to any other places, so that investment becomes a negative investment. That is one of the disadvantage of setting up of a solar panel. Roof orientation. Solar panels are more effective on roofs that face south. If the panel is facing towards south, they are more effective and they're free of shade. And for most of the day, the panel should be free of shade so that it can generate more electricity. So all these are some of the points which are, talking about the disadvantages of a solar panel. Okay. Now, what is the largest solar park in our country, in the world? Of course, it is talking about the world's largest solar park is Badla Solar Park, which is situated in our own country. It covers about 56 square kilometers and has capacity about 2,245 megawatts. So that is enough to power 1.3 million homes. So this is something we get it from Badla Solar Park. So world's largest solar park, which is situated in our own country. You can see here 2,245 megawatts of energy is been generated from this solar park and which can lit up to 1.3 million homes. So it is located in Rajasthan, dry place, sandy place, and the average temperature in Badla is between 46 and 48 degrees centigrade. This is the average temperature, which makes common normal life impossible there. So that is the reason. So we have gone for huge acres of land under this solar panel setup, where we have a huge park here, solar park, and the area is frequently hit by hot winds and sandstorms. So in these areas, because it is not useful for any other purpose, so we have set up an solar park here, which is generating 2,245 megawatts of energy. Okay, so that is all about the world's largest solar park, and which has been situated in our own country. Next, when I'm saying yes, largest solar park is in the desert, where that particular area we are not using for any other purpose. See, in a country like us, where we are overpopulated country, a country where we cannot afford so many acres of land for any other purpose. But because that is a desert, it's okay. What about the other places in our country? Can't we go for solar panels in other places? So the solution for this particular disadvantage is agri photovoltaics, a concept nowadays very much heard in almost all parts of the world, is agrophotovoltaics or agri photovoltaics. So this is a term. It is simultaneous utilization of land for agricultural crop production and energy generation using photovoltaic systems. So we are using photovoltaic systems along with the agriculture. You can see in the pictures, in the agricultural field only these panels have been set up. Here also the same thing. So we are simultaneously utilizing the land both for the agriculture and the energy generation. We call it agri photovoltaics, agriculture plus solar energy generation. Okay, so these are some beautiful pictures you can see. This is agrivoltaics. They are the solar panels between colorful tulip flowers in Netherlands. You can see Netherlands, which is very famous for its tulips and all. In between, you can see these blue boxes. They are the solar panels. And other part, these are the tulip gardens. So it is agrivoltaics, where the agriculture and the solar panels are combined usage of on the these two on the same land. So this beautiful picture is from Netherlands, where you can see yes, a combination of both solar panel installation as well as the agriculture. Next, then another idea given for the disadvantage, because more biggest disadvantage is the space. So where how much area can we use in a country like us? How can we go for utilization of space? So another idea came. One of the biggest advantages, floating solar panels. So people come out with new ideas, new concept of floating solar panels. Why not we use water? So in the reservoirs and all, where the panel is floating. So we are setting up a solar panel on the water. So we call it floating solar panels. You can see here, one of the biggest advantages is they do not require any land space. They are not on the land. And most of these deployments can be used to space on bodies of water such as hydroelectric dam reservoirs, wastewater treatment plants, or drinking water reservoirs. So we can go for any stagnant water, the water from the dam and the water of wastewater treatment ponds, or we are taking drinking water reservoirs. These water can be used for floating solar panels. And the solar panels on the floating solar plant are firmly fixed and are on buoyant structures. They are floating. Okay, they are fixed to the buoyant structures to keep them afloat on water bodies to receive sufficient sunlight. Throughout the year it happens. So the water is not moving, it is a reservoir or it is a water in a dam, or we are taking the water which is used for treatment ponds and all. So these waters only, on these waters only we are installing floating solar panels. Okay, and throughout the year enough amount of sunlight has been fallen on this panels, and generation of electricity takes place. Electric current transfers from these panels to the power plants through the underground cables. So there are cables attached under the ground. So directly whatever energy is being generated, it is being taken through the panels, through the underwater cables towards, to the power plants. So that is how it is being designed. So when we are talking as solar panel, the biggest disadvantage of solar panels is the space. So these are some of the solutions given. So why not floating solar panels? So why not agri photovoltaics? So where the generation of electricity is taking place in combination with the agriculture there. Here on the water also we are utilizing, and yes, even on the waters also, it has been installed so that the generation takes place, and through the underground cables they have been transferred to the nearby power plants. Okay, that is one. And next one, and especially I'll talk about one point here which I have referred. So when there is cooling effect from the water, the efficiency of the panel in generation of the electricity becomes more, it seems. When we are talking about floating solar panels, the efficiency increases because it is getting some cooling effect from the water. Same with the agri photovoltaics. When you're setting up solar panels in the agricultural field, from the plant there is some kind of evaporation going on, some kind of transpiration going on. So that is giving cooling effect to the panel. So there is a study that yes, its efficiency is being increasing because of the cooling effect. So this is one of the major advantages when we are talking about agri photovoltaics, or we are talking about floating solar panels. Now there are some of practical applications, solar powered auto rickshaws and all. NASA designed solar powered vehicles and all. Helios, this is a vehicle designed by NASA using solar panels. Next, semi-autonomous war machine Odysseus, and this is one solar car. Quaint is one of the cars which has been powered by solar energy. Solar streetlights, often we see them, already we are seeing them. Solar cookers used in rural parts of our country. So all in the villages you can see one of the very famous, famous installation in villages especially. So that is solar cookers using solar energy, small forms of solar cookers, and streetlights. Of course, nowadays we see in our daily life also, some of the street lights are being powered by solar energy. Now, these are some of the references which I have gone through when I was preparing my notes or my lecture. So these are some of the, links. Okay. Okay, that's all for today. Let's meet again for the next session. Thank you.